Hello everybody and welcome to this course, Get Everything You Need to Know in Under an Hour. The whole purpose of this course is going to be to get everybody up to scratch everything they need to know in the workplace about Git and to do it quick and to do it fast. One of the key things that we'll be focusing on is how to create our own GitHub account, pull the repository down, and then that whole source code management CI/CD process of making branches, working with branches, pushing, pulling, which can seem daunting at first, but what this course is really going to do is trying to break it down with some real world examples and trying to get everybody to understand how good of a tool Git is. It's going to be great in the workplace, so let's get it started. Let's start learning Git. Okay, and welcome to this first tutorial. And what we're going to be doing is installing VirtualBox and Ubuntu. So VirtualBox is like the virtualization software that we're going to use, and it's going to allow us to make our VM. So the first thing I need us to do is to pop over to a web browser and just type in Oracle VirtualBox. And then the one that we want to go to is that one that says www.virtualbox.org. You might see a few other ones, but that's the best one to go to. It's the main page. And you see this big button here, download VirtualBox 6.0 in green. Yeah, give that a click. And as I'm on a Windows machine at the moment, I'm going to click the Windows host button. And we're going to save that. And there we go. And we'll just open this up. And we'll just run through the wizard here. Hit next, hit next. You can alter this as much as you want. I'm just going to keep everything default. I'm happy with it. And hit next. And that's fine. And we'll hit install. Okay, so this is just going to install. I've sped mine up a little bit. And once you're finished, we want to start it up on that reboot. Okay, so there it is. So you can see I've got a little machine here already, but that's because I already had it installed. Now what we're going to do is get our Ubuntu 16.4 ISO. So if you just give that a search, the ISO is just a file type. Don't worry too much about it. And here we want to go to releases.ubuntu.com 16.04. LTS stands for long-term support. And we can scroll down and we want the Ubuntu 16.4 AMD 64 ISO. And we'll click that and give that a save. So this is the one thing that might throw you off. If you're on Windows 10 like me, it's going to come down with that little WinRAR zip file icon. Don't worry about that. I thought it was going to be an action ISO, so it's going to look like that there. And if it looks like that, it's fine. There's no need to unarchive it or anything like that. So let's open up VirtualBox. We're going to hit New, and we're going to name our virtual machine. So I'm just going to call this Udemy for this purpose. We'll drop that type down to Linux. And we're going to drop down to Ubuntu 64-bit. Perfect. And hit next. So this is the virtual machine RAM that you want to give it to, the memory. I've got a fairly beastie machine, so I'm going to give it 4 gig of RAM, just about 4 gig. And hit next. Again, just hit that, do that as you desire. We want to do create virtual hard disk now. And we want a VDI. That's just the standard sort of file type. And the next thing that we want to do is about the physical disk, have that as dynamically allocated. It means it's not going to actually make a file of a massive size, it's going to just slowly grow it. And then the hard disk, I'm going to say about 30 gig is fine. And we can add another one or extend when needed. Okay, so that's that machine there. But what we now need to do is edit the settings. So we're going to hit that settings button there. Or you can right click and hit settings, both work. So this is the settings of the machine. So here the shared clipboard drag and drop, change that to bidirectional. It means you can copy and paste from the host to your virtual machine. It's so important that we do that. And we can leave this fine. Hit down to system. Untick the floppy disk because we don't need to virtualize a floppy disk. We're not going to be using one. Processors, bang this up to 2. Acceleration, I'm just going to leave that as default. Display with a video memory. So I'm going to bang this up to about 20, 32, 36, 40, yeah, 40 sounds good. It's just how much memory we want to give it, how quick it renders stuff. Storage, so this is the important one now. So that controller ID where it's empty, we're going to click that and hit that little icon there. And what we're going to do is choose our image that we just downloaded. So don't worry if it's a WinRAR icon, it's fine. Don't extract it, just leave it, it's fine. And hit open. And that's essentially the boot disk. So it's going to say we're going to boot with Ubuntu. Audio is fine. network is fine. I'm going to leave it as a NAT. I've had some trouble with bridge adapter before. I usually use that, but to stick with NAT, it's just going to be another network from your host machine, and you'll get all the internet connectivity, so that is also fine. Serial ports, USB, shared folders, user interface. Don't really mess around too much with this. Hit OK, and then now we can start our machine. Fantastic. So you can either hit start, or again you can right click and start. I'm just going to click the button, and here we go. So Ubuntu virtual machine is now going to kick off. Okay, so here we go. It's just loading up for the first time. It might take a bit of time. I've sped some parts up in this. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start the install. So it says try Ubuntu, install Ubuntu. Obviously we want to install Ubuntu, and you can choose a language here. I'm going to go with English. And then we want to download updates while installing Ubuntu, but I don't care too much about this third-party software. If there's something on there that I want to install, then I'll install it myself. Feel free to choose that if you want, but it will make your installation a bit longer. So hit continue. And this erase disk and install Ubuntu, don't worry. It's not going to erase anything on your actual machine. It's only the VM. Do not worry. Hit install now. Hit erase disk. It's fine. And then hit continue again. And then just choose where you are. If you click on the map, it will tell you where you are. I'm happy with London. And then it will come up there to your keyboard. Again, English UK. It should pick it up wherever you are. There's a lot of choices here. And we'll go there. And now we want to just enter our details. So I'm going to do Udemy as my name, and then just choose a password. And this will be like also your root password as well. So just please make sure you remember this. And we want to make sure we require my password to log in. And we will hit continue. So now it's going to install the OS again. This takes a bit of time. So I've skipped it, and once it's done, it's going to just say restart now. And just sort of sort all the configs out for us. So once that's done, you'll get into this screen, hit enter. So this now is our machine, which is great. But it's not the installation fully done because there's a few of the little tweaks that we need to do. The first thing that I want to do is here go to import on the top, drag down to insert guest edition CD. So this is going to make our screen big, full screen. When hit run, when that pops up, you might get asked for your sudo password, which is the password you just put in. And that will go off and install, takes a bit of time. And as you can see now, my machine's gone to full screen, and that's what the guest edition really does. It's really good like that. We'll close that window now because we no longer need it. And I'm just going to do a couple more things, a little bit of cleanup here. I was going to get rid of some of these things from the side because, again, I just don't like it. Don't need it. You feel free to do this if you want to. If you don't need to, it's okay. And if you hit this little icon here, top left, and just type terminal, so that's going to be our main terminal, main workstation. And what I just want to do is sudo apt-get update -y, which means we're just going to update the system. We did do an update before on the install, and that will do it there. And that is it. That is how we install our Ubuntu virtual machine. So there you go. I just want to say thanks for watching this first video. Hope you enjoyed the course. We're going to install a few more things next, like VS Code, install Terraform, and then we're going to go into the nitty-gritty and get everyone up to scratch, advanced to beginner. So thank you very much. See you on the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to this video, and today we'll be installing VS Code, which is going to be our code editor of choice throughout the course. So let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is just open up a web browser. It can be any web browser of your choice, and I'm just going to type in Visual Studio Code. Okay, and let's let that load off and scroll down, and what we want is this one here, code.visualstudio.com. And let's go there and let's hit that .deb because I'm running on Debian. If you're on Red Hat, you can go with that the other one there. And let's scroll down and let's save this file. Let's open it and let's download it. Okay, great. So it's very, very easy to download. Like I've said there, I've just downloaded the package, and I've gone over here to my Ubuntu software installer, and let's hit install. Okay, so that's going to go off install. You might need to authenticate, so this is just the password that we used when we created the virtual machine. And let's let that install. Okay, great. So that's already there. Now, if you hit the top left button here, we can type in Code or Visual Studio, and what we'll get is the icon, and there it is. So let's click on that. And let's get it loading up for the first time. So this is what Visual Studio Code looks like. I'm going to right click and lock it to launcher there as well, just so it's nice and easy to see. And we can get rid of that. And let's get rid of this welcome page. We don't necessarily need it. This is Visual Studio Code. And I'm going to hit this button here called extensions because there's a few things I want us to install. The first thing is going to be called Git Lens. And what Git Lens does, it kind of shows us commit messages, pushing and pulling, and all you got to do is type it in there and hit that install button there. It's a fantastic plugin. It's really going to enhance our Git experience as well. So let's install that and let's let it get it going. There's a few other ones I want to install as well, but this is the main one. Okay, so that's going to go off and install. Fantastic. Cool. So this is Git Lens. You can read the README and stuff like that if you would like to. Okay, now let's go back and let's type a few more in. So we want Bash. There's some good ones you can get: Bash, Terraform, Ansible. So this is just the same process. We'll install this Bash one. What Visual Studio Code is really good with as well is themes. So I'm going to type in OneDark Pro, which is actually a theme from another code editor called Atom, and I really like this theme, so I'm going to install it over here. This one's a bit optional. You don't necessarily need to do it, but if you right click there, hit install, and you might need to reload. And with the themes, if you hit File, Preferences, go down there to Color Theme, you can then just choose whichever one you want. So I like this OneDark Pro one. Cool. So that's VS Code. That's how to install it. And I just want to show you how things are linked. So if I see whatever directory I'm in, and I can make a random folder here, I can call it whatever I want. I can call it Terraform. I can call it anything. And if I go over to VS Code and I open a folder, I can choose that folder, and we can kind of see how they're linked as a file structure and how you'll be editing the same files. So there's nothing obviously in here, but that is the workspace. So if I right click here, make a file, call it test.txt, and put anything there, doesn't really matter. And I go back now to my terminal and just do an ls on that folder. You'll see it's there. So that's just showing you that the folders are linked and how you can be working in different places. But that's it. That's how you install VS Code. Let's carry on and start installing Git. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video, and today we'll be installing Git. Installing Git is a really easy process, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do, open my terminal, nice and easy, and I'm just going to do a quick update of the system. So sudo apt-get update and the -y is just to say yeah. And you might need to put your password in, so authenticate there and put the password in. So I'm just going to update the system, make sure I'm up to date. I shouldn't really have anything that major that I need to install, but let's just do that. So that's updating the system. And to install Git, you want to do sudo apt-get install git-y, and the -y again is to say yeah. Hit enter, bang. That's all you got to do, and that's actually it really. So I actually already had Git installed on this machine. You may not have it, so that's all you got to do. And to verify it, just do git -- version. So I'm running git 274, and that's it. That's how you install it. Hi everyone, and in today's video we'll be creating our very first GitHub account. So you can see I've got a web browser and I'm just going to type in GitHub, and let's go here and let's go to github.com, and it's quite a very simple process. And what we're going to do here, there's a nice little page here on the home page to sign up, put in a username, whatever you guys would like, put in your email and your password, and then just sign up for GitHub, and it's as simple as that. So let's do that, and let's hit the button. You can save your password if you'd like. Okay, so you might get this verify puzzle thing, so I'm just going to skip past it on this one, so you don't necessarily need to watch me do it, but you just got to move the thing. And you can turn on email preferences, but let's choose our plan now. So we're going to go with the free one because this is just for a personal account. You don't necessarily need to pay for it. Okay, so we'll go for the personal one, the free one, and you can just fill in some of these questions if you need to. You can skip it at the bottom if you want, but we'll just go ahead and do it. Okay, interests, and I'm just going to type Git, and let's complete the step. So you could have skipped it at the bottom there. Okay, so it wants us to verify email address now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my Gmail account, and so here I am, and I'm just going to verify it from that email there. So once I've clicked that, it's taking me straight into the account. It wants me to create a repository, but I'm not going to do that because we're going to do that in a later video. But essentially what we've done here now is set up our GitHub account. It's fully done. Literally took about a minute. If I click that top left button there, it's going to just take me back to the home page, and this is where I want us to be when we go on to the next step. So that top left button there is the home page, but that's it. That's how we make our GitHub account. See everybody in the next one. Hi everybody, and welcome to today's video. And today we'll be creating our first repository. So let's get started. So I'm going to load up the page back to where I was at the end of the previous video, and I'm going to click this button here to create a repository. Okay. So let's click that button, and as you can see here, we've got to give it a name, and you can give it a description if you'd like. So I'm just going to name this like our first repository, something nice and simple. And you guys feel free to follow this. This doesn't have to be a unique, globally unique name. Go with what's on the screen, and let's put a little description in. First Git repository. Cool. So you can make it public or private. I suggest making everything private at the moment, and let's initialize it with a README, and let's hit to create the repository at the bottom. Okay, great. And that's it really. So if I hit this button here to take me to the root of my account, you can see I've got a different page now. And you can see there repositories, it's got a little one next to it. And there's our first repo. It says it's private and it's got a little description as well. So if I click on that, scroll down, and there we go. So it's got the little README there is what we initialized, which has got nothing in it apart from the name and the description. But that's how we make our first repository, and we're going to build on this in later videos. Hi everybody, and welcome to today's video, and today we'll be cloning our first GitHub repository. So in the previous video we made the repo, so now we're going to clone it down. Okay, so this is our repository, and this is our account here. So we can see here like we've got our repository and everything's cool, so that's nice. If you hit this button here, the top left is the settings button. You hit settings, and what you want to do is scroll down there to SSH and GPJ keys, and you're going to hit new SSH key. Okay. We're going to go to the terminal here. So as you can see, this is where I was. I'm just going to clear the screen and bring it down. And I'm going to type SSH-keygen. Okay. It's going to give you a few little prompts. Just hit enter to everything here. You don't need to put anything in. And it's going to print you out a key on the screen. I've really crudely put a thing there, but don't worry. So that's what the key is. And what I want to do is cat on the file of what it's put in. Okay. It's going to tell you your file's been saved here. So let's just copy that and let's type cat and then the name of that file. Okay, so again, mine's come onto the screen. I've just copied it out. What we're going to do is we're going to copy all of that, copy, and we're going to go back to the screen we were just at in the console here, and I'm going to paste it in. Okay, again, I've covered it out, and here we can just type give it a name in the key so we know what it is. So I'll just type git SSH key. It doesn't need to be capitals. I've just put it caps, and let's save that. Okay. So what we've just done is linked our machine to our account there. And you can see the keys there now. Cool. So if you hit the top left button, that's going to take us back to the home page. And let's let that load. And what we'll do then is we'll go into the repo and we'll clone it down. Okay. So page is going to load. Still loading. And let's just hit the button on the side here to go straight to the repository. Cool. So we can hit that clone button there. And let's make a directory called Git. And let's go back there, hit that there. And we want to do clone with SSH, by the way. Hit copy, paste that in. Ooh, that didn't copy properly. So let's just get rid of that and go back. So clone with SSH, everybody. It might do HTTPS, but we're going to do SSH. Copy that. And type git clone and paste it in. Okay. So it's going to say, do you want to authenticate? And we're going to say yes, because we've got an SSH key. And it's going to say, look, I already know what your SSH key is. And there you go. So if we do an ls here, we can see we've got first repository. And if I go into that, tap an ls, that's the readme. So what we're saying now is that the repository, we've just cloned it down, so we can now push and pull from that first repository that we just made. So I know I went a bit quick over the SSH bit, but it's quite simple. Let's go through it again. If you've got any questions, just ask me. Let's see everyone in the next one. Hi everybody, and welcome to today's video. And today we'll be doing our first ever Git commit. Okay, so here we got my terminal. And And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cd into the directory where I cloned our first repository, okay? And I'm going to go into that repository, if I can spell it correctly, and let's see what we've got. So all we have is the README, okay? We've got nothing else. So what we're going to do is we're going to do touch, and this is just to make a file, and we're going to just do hello world .txt, okay? So we can also via that file and just put some text in there. If you go into vi and type push I or do the insert mode, and you can just type hello world and save the file. Okay, so what we've done now, if we do a git status, what that's going to do is going to show us a few things. First thing, it's going to say you're on branch master and you're up to date with the origin master. We've got an untracked file, which means there's a new file that Git doesn't know about and it wants to add it to the repository. Okay, so we're going to go through steps here. So the first one is git add. You're going to do you can do git dot, or I tend to do git add all. Okay, then you do git commit -m to type a message in, and here you're going to type a descriptive message. Okay, and I'm just going to put first commit, nice and easy. Okay, this is going to say git, I don't actually know who you are. Okay, this is the first time we've done it, so it actually gives you the two commands that you need to run to get around this. This is the only time you have to do this. It's only now. You'll never have to do this again. So all you got to do there is just get rid of that email there and just put your own email address in. This is just going to be the one that you use to set up the repository, so you should already have it on. And again, you know, you can just put your name. Okay, so let's just copy that one and let's copy and paste. Okay, and let's just put a name in. Let's type DevOps made easy. Okay, cool. So now, if I just rerun that commit command, it's going to say, okay, look, branch master, first commit, which is the message that we put in. We've got one file changed and one insertion. Okay, great, fantastic. Now we've got to do git push. Okay, so what that's going to do is push it to the master branch. Okay, so because you set up SSH keys, we don't need to worry about anything. It's going to do it for us. Okay, so this is going to say, look, I know who you are. I push to this repository and I push to the branch. So here in our repository, if I in the main page, sorry, if I go to the repository, and you can see it's updated 10 seconds ago, which is good. What you can see here is our hello world text, and there it is. So what we've just done there is made a file and we've pushed it up to Git, and here it is in our source control. Okay, it's really, really good, and it just kind of shows how easy it is to be pushing a pull of files. Okay, and what I've got here is back onto VS Code. I'm going to open that folder because I just want to kind of show you like git lens and that type of stuff as well. So if I look at that hello world and I open that first repository, there's our two files. There's our hello world and there's our README. Okay, and if I type in here change made with VS Code, okay, let's get rid of that capital H and let's save that. What's happening here is the git lens is hitting in now. So that's changed to an M there and it's gone yellow. That means it's been modified because it's part of a Git repository. And if I do a git status again, okay, so before it said it had an untracked file, now it says modified. If I go back there, so before it was untracked because it didn't know about it. Now it knows about the file. It's just going to say modified because we're modifying an existing file. So we're going to go for the same thing: git add, git commit, git push. Those are the three steps. Always remember: add, commit, push, add, commit, push. So once again, add, commit, and push. Okay, so I've added it, I've committed it, and now I'm going to push it. Okay, so that's going to get pushed up. And if I go back to the page here, and I can refresh that, and what we'll see is we can go into that file and we can see it. So I just wanted to show you that VS Code and the terminal both can make those changes. So we've got here change made with VS Code. Okay, so that's it. That's how we do our first commit in Git. See everybody in the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video, and today what we'll be doing is our first Git pull. Okay, so if I come over here to my GitHub account and go into the repositories and go into our first repository that we've made, so you can see this is the kind of stuff that we were doing in the previous videos, but what I want to do now is create a new file. So let's click that button and let's make a file and let's just call it second file. You can feel free to call this anything you want. So this is going to kind of highlight when you've got multiple people working in repositories and someone's changed something, someone's made a change that you don't have. So I'm going to make a change here in the GUI, and I'm going to add a file. Okay, so let's add this second file. Let's just create it and let's commit it. So in the repository, I've got a second file. Okay, if I go now to my folder structure and into the repository where my first repository is here, I don't have it. Okay, I go to VS Code, refresh it, it's not there. So how do I get that file? So what I do is I type git pull. Okay, so that's all you have to do. And I hit enter, and what that's going to do is going to say I'm tracking from the remote. Okay, I can see a new file, second file, you don't have it, let's give it to you. Okay, if I do an ls now, there's the second file. Okay, I can refresh the page, second file, there it is, this is my second file. And with git lens, like he says, like I can see, it says it got pushed by DevOps made easy, which is the user 4 minutes ago, and it's got the little commit message, and that's why Git Lens is a really, really good plugin to have, because it kind of shows who's done what as well, and it kind of tells you what branch you're on here at the bottom left. But that's how you pull. It's as easy as that. So let's see everybody in the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video, and today we'll be creating branches. Okay, so currently we've been working on the master branch, but you might not want to do that. You might want to be in your own branch, so let's go through that. So as normal, I'm going to go into my repository where we've been working, and let's type git status. So that's going to say you are on branch master. Okay, so if you go outside of that and you go into the folder and you type git status, you won't get it because you have to be in a Git repository to do that. So I just wanted to quickly show that as well. So if I type git status, as you can see, you are on branch master. Okay, working on the master branch can be tricky. It should be the best code, up to date. And if I go back to the console here, you can see master is the only branch we have. All right. So if I want to list the branches, there's a couple of commands you can do. The best thing to make a branch is git checkout -b, and we name of the branch, second branch. Cool. Right. And now I can show you how to list a branch, because obviously now we've got multiple, and that is git branch. Okay, so that says I've got 2 branches, and the green one is the one you run, especially with the star as well. And if I go now to the console, you can see that second branch isn't there. The reason it's not there is because we have to push it. Okay, so that branch only exists locally. It doesn't exist in the actual repository itself. All right, so I'm going to make another file, third file, .text, and this is going to be on our second branch. Okay. You can see here it's gone green, and in VS Code it says, look, you're on a new branch. And it's gone green here. The green is to say it's untracked, because it's a new file and it doesn't know about it. So I'm just going to type in here, third file on second branch. Perfect. And let's save that. Nice and easy. Yeah, just double checking for spelling mistakes. Okay, so we're going to go through our normal bits, right? Git status. That's going to say, okay, we've got an untracked file. I'm going to add everything. I'm going to commit, and I'm going to put a message. Always add a message. New branch, and then I'm going to push it. Okay, let's just do git push. Okay, so again, because we've made a new branch and it doesn't know about it, it's going to give you a little command at the bottom to say this is the first time we've made a new branch. You'll only ever have to do this once. It's kind of like to initialize the branch. So we're going to copy and paste that command there and push it in there. So whenever you make a new branch, it will tell you the commands you have to run. So what we're doing now is pushing that new branch to the repository. And as you can see here, it says as well, new branch. So when we go to the repo, and it kind of says there's second branch less than a minute ago, but let's refresh the page. And you can see there we've got no third file here because it's on master. But if we drop this now to the second branch, there's our third file. So people have master, they have dev, they have different branches that they work on, and it's a great way of doing things. But that's how you create branches. Nice and easy. See everybody in the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to be talking to you and teaching you how to switch branches. So previously we made another branch, so we had master and we've got a second branch, but what if you want to go in between the two? What if you wanted to see what was on master? What if you wanted to see what was on the second branch? Okay, so in the repo, let's type git branch. As you can see, we're on the second branch here, and if you want to switch to the other branch, it's a very, very simple command, nice and easy. Git checkout and the branch name. So I'm going to do git branch master. If I do another git branch here, it does say I've switched, but I can type git branch as well, and that's going to show me that I've flipped to the other one. And it is as easy as that. Okay, so again, I can switch back to the other one. I can do git checkout, second branch, do a git branch again, And there we go. So that's it. That's how you switch branches. Nice and easy. Thanks everyone. See you in the next one. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video, and today I'll be teaching you how to merge branches. So the scenario for this is you're working on your little dev branch or the second branch and you want to put it into master. How do we do that? So in our example here, in our second branch, that third file exists but it's not in master, but I want it to go to master because it's relevant code and it needs to be there. Okay, so I'm going to do a git status here in my repository and do a git branch, and I'm already on master. Okay, and as you can see here, that third folder isn't there, but I really need to get it pushed in because I want it in the master code base. Okay. So the command is git merge and then the branch that you want to merge in, right? So if I'm on master, I want to merge second branch in, you want to be on the master and you type git merge the branch that you want to come in. And I've done an ls there. You can see that the third file is now there. Do a git status. It says you're one ahead because you've got to push it. So we've merged it in. All we have to do now is push, and that will go up to the repository. And it's our normal stuff: git add, git commit, git push. Okay. And my little commit message is going to say, look, I've merged the second branch in. Because we want the message to be nice and clear, and let's do git push. So just to reiterate, I was on master and I did my merge command on master because I want the branch to come into master. Okay, so let's just copy that, and that's the command there, git merge second branch. Okay, so I've gone now, I'm on the master branch here. Let's refresh that, and there's our third file. Okay, that's it, nice and easy, and that's how you merge. Hi everybody, welcome to today's video, and today I want to just reiterate how to show all the branches. I feel like I might have rushed it a little bit, so I'm just going to reiterate it and go over it one more time. So if I'm in my repository, do a git status, I can do git branch, and that's going to show me those branches there. But if I do git branch -a, that's going to show me all the origins as well. So it's going to say I've got an origin from there as well. You don't really need to worry about it too much, but I just kind of wanted to show you how you can get a bit of extra information on the branches. So just the key is git branch, and you can also do git branch -a to get a bit of extra info and show you where the remotes are. But that's it. See everyone in the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. Today we'll be learning how to delete branches. So deleting branches and cleaning up branches is a big skill and something that we really need to do. Okay, so if I've done git branch, okay, I don't really want the second branch anymore. I've already merged it into master. Let's clean it up. It shouldn't be there anymore. Okay, you're going to do git branch -D and then the branch name. Okay, so I'm just going to put in there branch name. Okay, yeah, so I'm obviously going to type here second branch. Okay, so it's going to say you can't delete a branch that you're on. Okay, good point. So let's do a git checkout to master, which is switching the branches, what we learned in a previous video. So now I'm on master, let's delete it. So that's going to say, your branch was deleted. I can do git branch, great. But if I go to the console and refresh the page, it's still there. The reason for that is because I've only deleted that branch locally. All right, we have to delete it remotely as well. Okay, so there is a command for that. So to delete a branch, there's two steps: local and remote. Okay, so if you do git push, and in there you're going to do your remote name, right? And then you do --delete, and in there you're going to do the branch name. Okay, so how do we get this? How do we get this information out? Okay, so that's the syntax for the command, but how do we actually get that info? To get the remote, you want to do git remote -v, and it's going to give us a string there, and it's all of that. Okay, so let's copy that. Git push, copy that in, --delete, and then the branch name, and the one that we want to delete is called second branch. Okay, so let's hit enter. So it's going to think about it, and it's going to say, look, deleted second branch. Cool. So what that's done is it's gone to the repo and deleted it as well. So we've done our cleanup now. So let's refresh the page, and let's go down to branch, and you can see we've only got one. That's exactly what we wanted to do, and that was a good little skill what we've done there, because we went onto a new branch, we made some changes, the changes were good, we merged that branch in, we've cleaned the branch up and deleted it. Fantastic. See everyone in the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video, and this one's going to be called git fetch. The scenario is someone else has made a branch in a repository and you don't know about it, but how do you know about it? How can you get it? You can do a pull, but are there any other ways that you can do it? And this is what today's video is going to be about. So if you type here remote branch in the branches bit there, you can make a branch. So that's how you make a branch in the console. And as you can see, I'm on this branch that I made remotely. And if I go into here, do a git status, I'm up to date. I do a git branch. I ain't got no branch there. That's just been made, and I know a branch has been made. So how do I get that information? And that is with git fetch. Okay, so let's run that. Let's see what it does. It's going to say I've got a new branch that I know about now, because what git fetch is doing is it's going to the repository and it's pulling down all the information that it knows about. So now if I do git fetch, so if I did git branch, it's not going to be there because I've still got to check the branch out. Okay. But if I do git checkout and do a tab, it's going to list all the branches, and you can see there's a remote branch, and I've definitely spelt that wrong. But what we've just shown is how to get information about the repository, about branches that have been made that you may not know about. And it's as simple as just typing git fetch. So that's it. See everybody in the next one. Hi everyone. Today we'll be talking about git diff. Git diff is essentially showing you how to show the difference between two files. Okay, so if I just go into the repository here that we've got, and let's just see what we have. We've got a few files, and we can even do this in VS Code if we want. And let's just on one of these files make a change. Say this is a difference. Okay, and now if I'm back on my terminal and get rid of capitals and do git status, so we can see that the file's been changed, but we don't actually know from this what has actually changed with it. So if I just take this file name, and if I type git space diff and then the file name, what it's going to do is say what's changed. So it says after there's a plus of a new line, and then there's all of this is different. So what git diff does, it's a great way to show you the difference between a file. It's very, very powerful. When you're making a lot of changes and you've pulled something down, or you've made a change and you don't remember what it is, use this and it will show you. Hi and welcome to today's video, and today we'll be talking about how to check in a single file. What I mean by that is, say you've made local changes to 4 or 5 files, but you only want to check one of them in. Okay, so you can see I've done a git status and I've got a change, and I've done a git branch to see what branch I'm on. And I can see, okay, I'm on this branch, I've got one change, and let's do git checkout master. So let's go to our master branch. We don't really want to be in this remote one. And we can flip, before if we can flip either way, sorry. So let's make a few more files. So let's make another file, and let's do a git status now. So you can see I've got 2 files here, and what if I want to decide which one I want to do, which one I want to add. So if I just add a few more to make it a bit more clearer, let's do 2, 3. So do git status. Okay, so we've got 4 files here, but I only want to add one of them. I don't want to add the rest, they're still work in progress. Say I only want to add the second one. The way you do it is you do git add. So previously we did git add.all, you could do git dot, but what we're going to do is git add the file name. Okay, so now if I do a git status, you can see another file too has been added to the repository, and the rest have stayed there. So now if I do a git commit -m and type added another file too, and then I can do a push, that's not going to push all those other files, it's only going to push the one that I put in staging, which was that other file. Okay, so that's how you would go about adding singular files. It's a very good thing, because like if you're working on a lot of files, you don't necessarily want to add everything every single time. And if I on master branch here, let's go back to remote, and there's another file too. We just pushed it, so that's how you would go about doing it. And if I can just go back here now to my terminal, I'm just going to add all these files, and I'm just going to, just so we've got clean working space, I'm just going to add all that in. But that's how you add in single files in Git. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video about Git cherry pick. So what Git cherry pick is when in the repository you only want to pull down a specific file rather than everything. Okay, so if I'm on the master branch here, and I'm going to make a new file, and let's call it remote file. So say someone's added this file in, and we've got here a remote file. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll go down and commit that file. Okay, so that's there in our master branch. We've verified it. If we go to the remote branch, we'll see all the other files there, but we won't see that one. Just double checking that everything's good, and that's nice. So let's now flip back to master. And cool. So everything's set up. So we've made a remote file. And what if we want to check that out? Right, so I'm just going to copy that file name so I have it. Okay. So back in our terminal, the way you would do this is if you do a git status and do git branch, so we're on that remote branch. Okay. And if I do a git fetch, so that's just going to kind of say, okay, I'm just making sure my repository is up to date. Everything's good here. Yep. So just do that one, that fetch again, and nothing's going to happen. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So let's come here. So if you go to GitHub and you go to the commits, which is just that button there, what you're going to do is you want to click that button there, which has got a sort of a 6 or 7 digit number, and what that is the commit hash. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get the whole one, you're going to copy it, because what that's going to do is it's going to pull in that change. Okay, and that's what we want to do is we want to pull that change in. Okay, so if I do git cherry pick and then the string, and oh, there should be a dash between cherry and pick, so that's a mistake there, so let's put a dash in. Okay, so what that's done now is you can see that it says create made remote file because that's pulled that in for us. So if I do a git branch, I'm still on my remote branch, and if I do an ls, and there is that remote file. So what I've just done there is cherry picked that commit and pulled it in. Okay, so I can obviously now go ahead and push the code by standard thing, git add, git commit, git push, put a little message, say we've cherry picked a commit, and do a git push. And that's how you would cherry pick a git commit into a different branch. See everyone in the next one. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video, and today we're making another repository. It's a very quick and easy thing. So in the console, where we hit our repositories here, if you see there's a little button there where we can create a new repository. All we're going to do, same as before, give it a name, give it a description, and like I've always said, I'd suggest that it be private. Initialize it with a README, hit create, and let's just let that let that be made, and there you go. And it's as simple as that. So making repositories is very easy, and to clone it down, we'll just do the same principle as before, where you copy the git clone. So now we have 2 repositories, and I just want to show you how quick and easy it was to make another repo. And that's it for this one. See you everybody in the next one. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we'll be talking about git reset, and I'm going to show you how to reset when you've added a file, but also how to reset a commit message once you've set it. So 2 very good things here. So I'm in my repository, do a git branch, so you can see I'm on the remote branch. Cool. So let's add a few files, and the first one is going to be reset underscore this.txt. So we're going to add it and reset it. Okay, so you can see git status, you can see I've got a couple of files here. I've got a reset.txt and I've got a reset this as well. So if I do git add -- all, and I do a git status, so both of them have been added, but I've realized, do you know what, I don't want one of these. I don't want to add it. And the way you would do that is git reset and then the file name. So if I go into one of the files, hit reset, now I do git status, you can see it's gone. Okay, so it's no longer in the staging area, it's actually been untracked again. So that's how you would do that. Okay, so if I did git reset and then the second one, git status, boom. So they've both been unstaged. Okay, so that's how you would do that. But what if I went a step further and did a git add, then I did a git commit, put a message in, let's go with reset file example. Okay, so let's do a git push and let's just get these out of the way. So now if I do touch reset commit.txt, okay, so let's do a git add. Let's do git status first. Okay, we've got shows, so that's good. Let's do a git add. Let's do a git commit, and let's put reset commit file. Yeah. Now if I do a git status, it's not there, but it says, look, you've got to push this, right? So if I did that command there, what that's going to do is let us recommit that file, and we can amend this commit message now. Okay. So let's say reset file commit message, and it's come out of there. So that was just the git commit -- amend, and we're going to go off now and do our normal adding and pushing and pulling, okay? And then let's go to our first repo here. Go to commits. You can see that create remote file there. But let's drop down the branch to the remote branch, which is the one we were working on. Reset commit file new message. So that's how you would change the commit. So it's just git commit -- amend, and all that does is lets you change that message, so you don't have to go with the one that you already put there. So that's how you would reset a file and a commit. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we'll be talking about merge conflicts. So merge conflict is when someone in the remote repository has made a change, you've made a change locally, you try to do a pull, and it's conflicting. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set up a merge conflict, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the master branch, and you can see I just need to do a git pull and pull these changes. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to set up a merge conflict because it's quite difficult to show without you guys actually seeing it, and I'm going to show you the power of git lend and VS Code as well at the same time. So let's make a file here. Let's call it merge conflict, okay? So the scenario is I've made a file locally, right? It's called merge conflict, and I'm going to say this is a file that multiple people can edit, okay? So we've got a file, our team's editing it, right? I'm the one that's made it, and I'm going to do git status, and I'm going to add this, and I'm actually going to push it up to the repository, okay? So going back to the whole workplace scenario, I've edited a file, and I've pushed it up to the repo, okay? So let's push it up. Okay, great. Okay, you can see in VS Code there as well as there. And let's go to the repository now. Let's just hit a refresh here. And merge conflict. This is a file that multiple people can edit. Okay, great. So let's edit the file here. And let's say after the word file, we're going to say edit goes here. So someone's gone off and edited this file, and they've put a change in that middle bit there, right? So they've committed that, and they've pushed it to the repository. I, however, have not pulled. So I don't know that that change has been made. So I'm going to go off in the same place and put more content like goes here. So there's two people editing the same file at the same time in the exact same line, okay? This happens a lot as well. So now if I do a git status, everything's cool. I'm going to add my local change, not knowing that someone else has changed it. I'm going to do a git commit. I'm going to say I'm going to push before I've pulled, okay? So I'm going to push this before I pulled from the branch. Everything's so good so far. So now let's do a push. It's going to say, look, it's failed because you haven't pulled. Great. So far, then nothing seems wrong here. So it's fine, I just need to do a pull. It's when we do the pull is when we're going to get the merge conflict, okay? Because I'm going to try and pull in a change, but I've already got a change that I've already tried. So you can see how it's getting messy. So let's do the pull. And let's see what happens. And here we go. We've got conflict, merge conflict in the file. The automatic merge has failed because there's a conflict. Sounds messy, but if we go to VS Code, bang, everything's changed now. It's going to show you what you had before. It's going to show you what's gone, what the change is, and what you can do is accept the changes. You can accept the incoming change, you can compare, or you can just accept the one you've got. Generally, you just kind of want to accept the current change because that's what you want. So you can kind of see how VS Code is powerful because I've just accepted that change, and I've resolved that conflict now. You can see it's got the little, it's gone purple and it's got C because it knows there's a conflict. And now when we do git status, everything's modified and I can do my normal add, commit, and push. So what's happened is we've manufactured a merge conflict, and I've kind of showed you what I would do to get around it and how to resolve that and how to even identify it, okay? So that's great. You know, again here, so that little purple bit's gone. So that's how you would resolve a merge conflict using Git. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. And today we'll be talking about the git ignore file, and this is something where you can tell Git what files not to add to the repository, okay? So you can see in my repo I've got a few files, just like normal. And let's go with the scenario of me adding a file called .git.ignore. Okay, so that's essentially what the gitignore file is. It's a dot file. Okay, and so we've got it here. It's great. So what we will go back to this and edit it. But I just want to kind of show you what's going to happen here. So we can put secrets in this file. So if I do secret.pub and I do secret.pem. So in this file, what it's saying is if there's anything with those two names of that file, do not add it to the repo. Okay, so you could have SSH key, you could have anything. So you can see I've done a git status, and I've got my git ignore there, which is fine. And I'm going to touch two more files, the pub and pem, and I've done a git status, and it's not said, oh, you've got to update these files. The reason for that is because the git ignore is already kicked in. So the git ignore is saying, those two files cannot get pushed up to the repository. It's because they are called secret.pem, secret.pub. We cannot have them. So if I push up, what I'm going to push up is just the gitignore file. It's not going to even think about our other two secret files, which is great. So this is how you would kind of go about not having secrets in repositories. So I've got to gitignore those two there. But what if you don't know like the exact name of a file? You can see they've grayed out there because that means that they're not going to go up. So what if we don't know the exact name of files? Luckily for us, we can just use a wildcard. So if I do anything called .pub and anything .pem, do not upload it. We can do anything .ssh. We can do, anything with a zip. You may not want to add zips to the repos. And if I now have to get status again, we've got files in there with pem and pub, but the gitignore doesn't care. It's pushed them away, so no, they're not going to get added up. So I'm just going to commit my ignore file here. So that's how you would go about using a gitignore file and making sure that the correct files are being published to your repository. It's really, really powerful, and that's how you do it. Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how to browse commits in the console. So before I've kind of done it in the videos, but I've never really directly showed anyone how to do it. So if I'm in the repository here, and I can choose whatever branch I want to be on, master or on whatever branch I want to go to, there's a button here called commits. So when you click that, it's going to show you all the commits that you've ever done, and it's going to show you the messages and the times and the git commit hash as well that goes along with it. So we can commit a file here. And we can see what happens. But if you hit this browse files button, the button there, what that's going to do is going to show you what the repository looked like at that time. So it's a great way of going back to what was previously there. Maybe you made some changes that didn't work. You can always go back and you can use the git commit hash there to sort of recognize what's going on. So if I go back to this first commit, browse the files, and we can kind of see that there's not really much going on and that type of stuff. It's really, really good to sort of use this to go back to the console and look at your previous commits, maybe see what went wrong. You can even download it as a zip, so maybe you can go back to a month and download it and then back that up somewhere. But I just wanted to show you how to browse the commits in the console and what you're going to kind of see. But yeah, that's it. See everyone in the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video, and today we'll be talking about git log. So I showed you previously how to see commits on the console, but how would we do that on the command line? And the way that is with git log. So all you type is git log, like I've just done there, and as you can see the commit hashes, you can see the name, you can see the author, the date, the time, and the commit message. And this is a great way of seeing what's been changed if you don't have console access. And say I did a git branch as well, I can see what I'm on. I can check out different branches as well, like here. Just pull to make sure I'm up to date. But the git log thing is fantastic. It really shows you what's happened. And say you know something's been changed and it's broken something, you can just quickly do a git log, have a look at the commits, see what got changed, and then revert back. It's really, really good, really powerful, and it's so easy as well. It's just by typing git log, and that's it. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'll be talking to another git reset. So before we talk about resetting, staging of files and commit messages, this time I'm going to talk to you about actually removing it, that committed file. So I've made a file here. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to do a git status. So as normal, it's a new file, nothing different here. And let's do the git reset file. This is what we've done before. Git status takes it out. Okay, so this is what we've done before. So I'm not going to go over it too much because there's another video on it. So let's carry on. And what we're going to do is, if I just move down, do a git add all, git commit, and let's do git commit file. So now see this command here, git reset dash dash soft head. That's going to take it out. So you can see here it's in there. But if I do that command there, git reset dash dash soft head and the little hat symbol, that's going to take it out. So that's how you would do that. So before I showed you about how to change the message once it's been committed, this is how to actually remove a file that's been committed. Okay. And now I'm happy with it. I'm gonna push it back up. So that's how you would do that. And that's it really. That's all I wanted to show you. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're talking about git blame. So this is when you're working with multiple people and you can do a git blame and it's going to tell you who changed the file last. So I know we can do this in the console, but it's really good to be able to do it on the command line as well. So if I can just take any file here and if I do git blame and the file, so it's going to say who changed it, the username, and what the commit message was, and the date and time. So it's really good to sort of see the history of a file and to see who's been changing it as well. So maybe someone changed a file that you didn't expect to be changed, or someone's been changing files which they shouldn't be. This can really show you. So you can also kind of do this in VS Code. It can show you there who's changed it last. You can also do it in the console. But if you want to do it on the command line, the way you do it is with git blame. Okay, so git blame and the file name is how you would see the history and who changed a file last. So that's it. See everyone in the next one. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today's video is a bit of a recap. It's amending commit messages. So we've done this a few times, but I feel like I've rushed it. So I'm just going to put in another video just to sort of reiterate how to do it a bit slower. So apologies if you feel like you want to skip it, skip this one. It's going to be showing you how to change that commit message again. Okay, so I've made a file, git status. I'm going to git add and git commit just so we can see what's going on here. Okay, so git commit, wrong commit message. So that's fine. And the way you change it is git amend, yeah, git commit dash dash amend, and that's going to give us this little prompt. We're going to change this to correct or correct commit. We're going to write that file out, Control X and Control O when we're using Nano. Okay, so it's git commit dash dash amend. Okay, so that's the command to change that commit message. I'm going to push this up as well, and I'll quickly go to the repository to make sure it's there. I'm sure it will be. So let's push that up. Let's go to our repo. We can do a little git log as well. It says there git, correct commit. So git log is something we learned in the previous videos. But that's it. Okay, so I just wanted to go over it again, and that's it. See you in the next one. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video on returning to previous commits. So you've made a commit, everything's great, everything works. You made another one on top of that, it's broken something, and you want to go back to that. How would you do it? So you're going to do a git log. You're going to find the commit that you want to go back to, okay? So let's just find one here, and let's go to this one. This one is good. And you're going to copy what's known as the hash, and that's just the long number here, okay? So I want to go back to this because everything was working. Okay, you're going to do git branch -b, and what you're going to do is paste in that little number. Okay. Oh no, sorry. You're going to do git checkout. Sorry, -b, and the number. Okay. So git checkout and the number. So what's that's done is made you a new branch of that. Okay. And essentially, what that means is you've kind of gone back on that branch. So that branch there is now the old change. Okay. So git checkout and the hash. Okay. So if I do git checkout -b, new branch. Okay. So now if I do git branch, you can see what I've done there. So I've done a git checkout of the hash. Then I've done a git checkout -b of the branch name. Okay. So I've checked the hash and I've checked the branch and I've gone back to it. Okay. So just to reiterate, git checkout hash and then you're going to do git checkout dash B and a branch name, and that's going to swap you over to the branch. Okay, so sorry, I got a bit confused there, but that's how you do it. Just so you want to do a git checkout and the hash, nice and easy, and then you're going to do git checkout and the branch name. Okay, and that will take you back to your previous commit. Really powerful because you will be making mistakes. Happens a lot, and that's how we do it. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video, and today we'll be talking about creating tags. So a tag is a great way to sort of show what a release of software is, a release of code is. You can really highlight it in the repository. So if I do git branch here, so I'm on the master branch, everything's good. I do an ls, see the files. Okay, so let's go ahead about making our tag. So the syntax is git tag, the tag name, -a. So mine's going to be release, let's do v1, okay? And we're going to have this -a. The -a is sort of annotation. It's kind of the description that goes with it. So I'm just going to say this is for release version 1. Code works here. All right. So we're going to write this file out. Control X and Control O on that, by the way. And we're going to push that. Okay. So I'm going to push it. It's going to say everything up to date. All right. So the reason for that is because you've got to push the actual tag. You're not pushing the code here, right? So what you want to do is git push origin tags, like I've done there. Git push origin -- tags. Git push origin -- tags, and you can see their new tag. Do a git branch master. Cool. So we've done everything from the command line. So let's now go to the repository, and let's go to our first repository. And you can see on the side here I've got release, right? Top right. I don't know if you can see it. If I just highlight it, there it is. So if I go to release, click that. And there's our tag. Okay, so that's how you tag releases. You can even run builds and stuff using Jenkins on tags and releases. So it's really, really good. When your software is working, I'd recommend doing it this way with the tags. It's very proper and it is best practice in the workplace. Hi and welcome to today's video. Today's going to be a quick one. I'm just going to show you something that we might have touched on before, on how to get the information about the repository you're pushing to from the command line. So how do you know where your code's going to? And you get that by doing git remote -v. Git remote -v is showing you the remote repository that you're fetching, you're pushing to, and you're pulling from. And it's just a quick command to get some information that you need. So git remote -v is to get the information of the repository that you're pushing from, and it's one that you're fetching from as well. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today's video I just want to show you about the git help command. So we've touched on a lot of git features here, but today I want to show you how to get a bit more extra commands. So if you type git help, what it's going to do is show you some of the commands here that's available. So some of them we've been through, some we haven't. And if you do git help -a, it's going to show you every single git command. So feel free to go through these, have a look, read up on the documentation. We've touched on some of these, and I've shown you them. The ones that I've shown you are the ones that you really need to know, about in the workplace. Some of those other ones, if you feel like you've got a niche request, it'll be good to have a look at. So it's git help -a to get all of the git commands. Happy coding. Hi everyone and welcome to this bonus video called git stash and git pop. So if you've got some changes on a branch and you want to switch to another one, sometimes it might say, you can't change that branch because you've got local changes to do. And this is how you get around that. So if I've got a git branch, I'll do a git status, I've got 3 files here that I've got to add in. The way you want to hide those changes is with a git stash, okay? So I've just added them here and I've done a git status and everything's cool there. So if I do git stash, so it's gonna hide those changes for me. I can go to a new branch. Let's go to new branch. I can do whatever I want to do here. I can make a file or do whatever. Then I can switch back to that branch that I was currently on. And if I do git pop, what that will do is git stash pop, what that will do is bring those changes back. So it's a way of hiding changes, moving to another branch, doing some work, coming back and releasing those changes. Okay. So git stash and git stash pop are the commands. It's a way to hide changes before moving on, coming back and then releasing those changes. Hi everybody, and this is the conclusion to the course, and I really just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who signed up to the course, and I really hope that you got everything that you wanted out of the course. I hope we covered everything about Git that you wanted to know. That was, creating the branches, deleting them, merge request, the stashing and popping, creating the GitHub account, repositories, and it's just a massive thank you. It obviously means a lot when someone gets the course, but the key is I hope you got everything you wanted to out of the course. I'm always available. If you want me to answer questions, just ask them on Udemy or on any platform. And what I want to say is just if you have any feedback and you want to improve the course in any way, just let me know. And what we'll do is we'll do our utmost best to get that update in and get the course fixed. So again, thank you very much. I hope you got everything you wanted to. It's been a pleasure teaching, and hopefully see you on another course. Thank you very much.